Today we're going to talk about my 1953 Gibson Les Paul, and this is just an example of what a typical 1953 Les Paul looks like, so I could explain some of the modifications that have occurred on the 1953 Les Paul that I got. As you can see, there's a trapeze style bridge and tailpiece, which has been maligned due to the fact that it has under wrap of the bridge, so you can't palm mute it, and it's difficult to play. And here you see a mojoaxe aftermarket remedy that allows you to wrap over the bridge without making any modifications to your Les Paul. And here's what they changed to in 1954. Late 1953, actually, they introduced that wraparound tailpiece, stop bar tailpiece, which went into the body and, supposedly affected sustain and tone, because the screws go deep into the body and the wood resonates more, supposedly, and probably there's some truth to that. And here we have a 1956, which is when they introduced the standard tune-o-matic that we have today. And so here's another example of a 1956 gold top. And here we have an unboxing video. When I got that guitar a month or so ago, and I was very excited. I worked with that seller on Reverb for quite a while to finally strike a deal with him. He wasn't super responsive. The listing had been there for 2 years, and it was a refinish, so there weren't a lot of pictures either. The price was good comparatively, and so there was probably maybe some skepticism and concern, but I finally contacted him, and I spoke with him on the phone. A very pleasant gentleman, and gave me history of the guitar and the refinish work that he had done, and some reassurances and some back and forth. He didn't have any feedback or any sales transactions on Reverb at all. So, just being cautious, I wanted to make sure I was covering the bases of everything on the transaction, and here it is out of the box, me looking at it for the first time ever. And wow, yeah, I was pretty happy with it. And here's how it was when he got it. So he got it off of eBay in 2004, and someone had sanded off the gold top and refinished it in this walnut finish. And those are the original knobs on there, and you could see they modified that trapeze tailpiece, and they had put a tune-o-matic ABR1 bridge on there. And then there was a headstock repair, which you can see here, as well as the Clouson tuners, single ring. And I'll show you later when I video the guitar as it's refinished, as it stands today, that it shows a little bit of the witness lines, they call them, of where that repair occurred. And it looks like it was a crack, not a full break, and nothing on the face, so that's good. So here it is. This is my 1953 to 1956 conversion refinish Les Paul. And I think it's great. It plays nicely. I'm happy with it. And it looks and sounds great, as I hope you'll agree on the playing demo here. So you can see that ABR1 bridge is pretty low profile. It was apparently shaved down or came off of a ES335. You can see here the Brazilian rosewood that's got a lot of play wear and finger marks. And of course that headstock with the rare hex nut inserts. Most of them have round inserts, but they were known to have those hex tuner inserts. And here's just a little video tour of the guitar. The knobs were replaced with more modern knobs because, as I mentioned on that refinish that you saw, apparently the person that he bought it from on eBay or someone previous to that, I'm having a hard time finding the history on this guitar. And speaking of, if anybody knows the origins of this thing and can provide me more detailed history on it, I would really appreciate it. So please send me a note or comment here. But they refinished the guitar without taking the knobs off and without taking the back plates off. So that was stupid. Now that was the walnut natural finish, the stain that they had, not this. RS Guitar Works out of Kentucky did this guitar around that 2004 time frame, and he had it done in all gold rather than a natural back. There were some all gold examples documented from Gibson, so that's pretty cool and rare, and it looks neat. And so I got a hold of RS, the owner of that place, and he did remember doing this guitar, and he was able to vouch for its authenticity as well. So that was another good piece of credibility before I made the purchase. And I got to talk a little bit to the person who did the refinish and the refret. So this had a refret, and it's very playable. They're medium, not jumbo medium, but Gibson medium. They're not super thin. They're just right for this guitar. And again, there are those hex nut inserts, or hex inserts, I guess. They're not threaded like modern. They just drop into the wood there. And they look really cool. Very worn. Most everything on here is original. Except, of course, the finish. And it was a refinish over a bad finish and a restore over a bad attempt at rectifying a guitar. So I think the right decisions were made here. People on the gear page, or maybe even the Les Paul forum, but really the gear page, I've seen a lot of disparaging comments about refinishes or modifications or what have you. And some of that is warranted. But really, I mean, it's up to the player and the purchaser. You can see there that binding at the lower horn starting to come away a little bit. I'm going to have my luthier friend, Kevin, fix that, I think. That's the only real imperfection with the finish that I could see. Original P90 pickups and covers. The switch tip is original, but I did get a replacement because those get really fragile with age, and they have a tendency to split and break off. So there's the bridge, and that's, of course, not a 1952 bridge. Now here's the gold back, and it is pretty beautiful, all gold like that. And you can probably see that that back control plate has been finished. There's a clear coat on it, as well as the three-way cavity control cover plate there. So you might not be able to see it too well in the video, but it's pretty clear, pardon the pun, that there was a clear coat put onto that. So why on earth they didn't remove those or even tape them off? Because it's all over the knobs too. So the volume and tone knobs have that finish all over them. So yeah, this is my 1953 to 1956 conversion Les Paul Gold Top, and I'm really thrilled with it. It's a great guitar, and biggest purchase I've ever made. So hope you enjoyed the video, and here comes some playing.